The ocean doesn't always kill with violence. Sometimes, it just waits. No attack. No warning. No dramatic final moment. Just time, stretching endlessly in every direction. And for those stranded in open water, time is the predator. Because the real horror of the ocean is not how fast you die, but how long it lets you live first. The incident, it began like any ordinary crossing. Clear skies. Manageable winds. Nothing to suggest that within hours, survival would become the only thing that mattered. Then something went wrong. Maybe it was a rogue wave. Maybe a sudden storm. Maybe a structural failure no one saw coming. At sea, disasters rarely schedule themselves. One moment you have a vessel beneath your feet. The next, only water. Cold. Endless water. Some made it into life vests. Others clung to floating debris, fragments of what used to feel safe. And within minutes, the world shrank to a terrifying equation: stay afloat, or disappear. The first hour is chaos. Hearts hammer. Adrenaline surges. Voices shout across the water. Stay together. Help is coming. Don't panic. Hope is loud in the beginning. Because statistically, rescue often starts quickly. Emergency beacons activate. Distress calls transmit. Search crews mobilize. But the ocean is vast. And vastness delays everything. Hours 2 to 12 shock gives way to reality. The water steals heat from the body up to 25 times faster than air. Even in temperate seas, hypothermia stalks silently. Limbs stiffen. Teeth chatter. Energy drains. Survival suddenly becomes less about strength, and more about endurance. People begin making calculations. How long can I tread water? Should I hold onto this debris? Where is the sun moving? When will we hear helicopters? The horizon answers none of these questions. It simply stares back, empty. The first night at sea is psychologically devastating. Darkness erases orientation. Waves sound larger than they are. Every splash feels like something approaching. Imaginations sharpen. Most survivors later say the same thing: the night is when fear truly arrives. Because once the sun disappears, so does the comforting illusion of visibility. And the temperature drops. Bodies curl inward, trying desperately to conserve warmth. Sleep becomes dangerous. But exhaustion makes it unavoidable. Some drift off, and never wake again. Day 2. Thirst. By the second day, a new enemy emerges. Not the cold. Not fear. Thirst. Salt spray coats lips. Tongues swell. The human body can only last a few days without fresh water, and the ocean offers none. Drinking seawater is a fatal mistake. Its salt content accelerates dehydration, pushing organs toward failure. Yet delirium doesn't care about biology. It whispers, "Just one sip." Some listen. And their timeline shortens dramatically. The sun's survival shows often focus on storms. The sun is one of the ocean's most efficient killers. Unfiltered. Relentless. Unavoidable. Skin blisters. Salt sores form where wet fabric rubs raw flesh. Eyes burn from the glare bouncing off endless waves. There is no shade. Nowhere to hide. Just exposure, hour after hour. Hope begins to thin. Conversations grow quieter. Energy is too valuable to waste on unnecessary words. Day 3. The mind turns around. The third day, something shifts. Not always visibly, but internally. The brain, starved of hydration and overwhelmed by stress, begins to misfire. Survivors report hallucinations startlingly similar across incidents. Ships that never existed. Voices calling their names. Coastlines shimmering on the horizon. Mirages of rescue. The cruelest trick the ocean plays is letting you believe escape is near. Some start swimming toward illusions. That is often the last decision they ever make. Because distance is almost impossible to judge at water level. What looks reachable can be miles away. Energy disappears quickly. And once it's gone, so is buoyancy. Group dynamics collapse if multiple people survive the initial disaster. Group psychology becomes critical. Early on, cooperation is natural. But extreme stress changes behavior. Disagreements form. Risk tolerance shifts. Someone suggests swimming. Another insists on staying put. Leadership fractures. And once unity breaks, so does one of the strongest survival tools humans possess. Isolation magnifies fear. The quiet moments by now, the ocean often becomes eerily calm. No storm. No towering waves. Just slow, rolling water. Ironically, calm seas can feel more terrifying than violent ones. Because nothing distracts from the waiting. Rescue is no longer assumed. It becomes a question. Then a doubt. Then a fading possibility. The body begins to fail, dehydration thickens the blood. The heart works harder. Cramps seize muscles without warning. Simple movements become monumental efforts. Some slip beneath the surface without a sound. Others are too weak to keep their airway clear. There is rarely drama. Only quiet disappearances. One by one. The ocean doesn't rush. It doesn't need to. Why rescue takes time? Many people assume modern technology makes ocean rescue immediate. But consider the scale. Search aircraft scan thousands of square miles. Currents shift survivors far from last known coordinates. Whitecaps mimic life vests. Debris fields scatter. From the air, a human head is heartbreakingly small. Find someone in open water is like spotting a coin in a desert. Possible. But never guaranteed. The fourth day by now, survival becomes statistically fragile. Yet some endure far longer than expected. Why? Often, it comes down to three factors: flotation, mental resilience, luck, especially luck. Because sometimes rescue aircraft pass just beyond the visible horizon. Close, but not close enough. When rescue finally comes for those who are found, the moment is almost surreal. The distant thump of rotor blades. A shape breaking the skyline. At first, no one trusts it. Hallucinations have lied before. But then the sound grows louder. Arms lift weakly. Signals are attempted. And suddenly, waiting ends. Not everyone is there to see it. The ocean always keeps some. We often imagine the sea as violent, explosive, unpredictable. But one of its most dangerous traits is patience. It doesn't need monsters below the surface. Time is enough. Because far from shore, survival is not just a battle against water, but against the limits of the human body and the fragile endurance of the mind. The ocean rarely kills fast. It simply waits until we can't fight anymore.